Hello and welcome to the Big Idea Show. I'm Liu Batchelor and today I'm joined by KATI RAMSDEN from Bazaar. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And can you tell us, what is Bazaar?
Sure, it's a package-free grocery and lifestyle goods shop in Ashford. But we're also a community interest company aimed at raising awareness around recycling, waste, pollution and all things green.
Brilliant. We're going to be chatting more about that after these titles. Joining us here on the Big Idea Show, and in today's episode we're going to be having a discussion around the idea of plastic and how we can reduce it, but also reducing the judgment both of ourselves and around each other of how we go about that and how much of it we're able to do. I want to start by saying a big thank you to everyone who makes the Big Idea Show possible, particularly our sponsors, the Glass Whiteboard Company and the Grand here in Folkestone, who are our hosts. But without further ado, we're going to get on to KATI to hear your story. So, Bazaar, you said based in Ashford, and you're all about a grocery store that's all about low packaging.
Yes,
right. Exactly. Okay, brilliant. And you're a community interest company, so there's lots around awareness, isn't there?
Yes.
And I really wanted to, I guess, take this idea a little bit bigger, because when we were chatting beforehand, you mentioned something that I found quite interesting, which was this idea of the judgment and the pressure that we put on ourselves that, oh my God, I have to reduce my plastic waste.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
It is hard, yeah. People kind of think, right, that's it, I'm going to go zero waste. I'm going to get rid of everything in my house that's plastic and replace everything. Well, that's really expensive and kind of really daunting, overwhelming to do it all in one go. So I guess my approach is just to make it a little bit more accessible for people, more realistic, and just to try and make it a little bit fun.
Yeah, definitely. Fun always makes it easier.
So it doesn't seem like this elite group of people that they're aspiring to get into.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's definitely that element that could potentially come in, couldn't it? But before we go into, I guess, that element of the discussion a little bit more, can you tell me your story? Like, how did you come to be so passionate and to kind of base your business around being able to provide that service and support for people?
It kind of all started around December so Christmas 2017 for me. Just particularly with a young son, just seeing the amount of gross consumerism around Christmas. That, and then shortly after in the new year, Blue Planet 2 came out, and I just got a bit sick and disenfranchised with all the plastic waste produced, particularly when grocery shopping. I went to another shop in another town in Hythe that has been selling package-free groceries for 30 years. You just buy by weight, and I was really excited about going there, and it was great. But then I was like, well, I live in Ashford. I don't want to have to travel to Hythe to do my shopping. It seems a bit,
kind of cancels out.
Yeah,
I guess you're saving on the plastic.
When driving to Hythe, didn't make sense to me. So then I just did some market research locally and found out that people were generally really enthusiastic about the idea. So went from there, really.
Okay, and this idea of the kind of judgment around, was it something you were putting on yourself, or other people were saying that you're not doing enough, or you'd say, oh, I'm trying to reduce my waste and my plastic, and then they'd start picking you up on various things. How did that become a key focus for you?
Yeah, there's a bit of that, I guess. I guess we customers come in the shop and they sort of say, oh, I've got this, but I've got a plastic Tupperware to put it in. Is that all right? And I'm like, of course it's okay. You're reusing it. It's not single-use plastic. It's single use that's the issue. And I guess everyone's thinking that they're doing it wrong somehow. There's also a network of like zero waste bloggers who have these beautiful minimalist photographs on their blogs, and it's a lovely lifestyle, but it makes it look like something that is this elite thing that ordinary people can't do. And it absolutely is. Anyone can reduce their plastic intake, and you don't have to do it all in one go, like I said, and you don't have to be perfect. A quote that I read recently said, we don't need a dozen perfect zero wasters, or a dozen people doing zero waste perfectly. We need millions of people doing it imperfectly. Everyone's got to try a little bit.
That's a nice idea. I think this whole idea of in our whole lives, isn't it, that we don't have to be perfect. And I think the media, you said about, you know, the zero waste bloggers, but bloggers in any area.
Parenting is another area. I know as a parent myself, the amount of pressure that you're under to be perfect. To be happy and to, you know.
So what do you think is, in your mind, helped you kind of get over that hurdle of, okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be something? Was there anything that switched for you, or anything you saw that had that change for you?
Probably not one thing in particular. It's just a general, just a feeling that I got from customers. People would come in and be a little bit apologetic, or just reading things online, other people in other towns running a similar sort of business saying, you know, that they'd had comments about people saying, oh, this is for yuppies, or you know, this isn't for us, sort of thing. But it's just, so for me it was just like, break it down, make it accessible, make it easy for people, and don't judge them, and encourage them if they do
and I guess that's
things.
probably quite nice, because you've had that, people saying that to you, and you've been able to support them and go, no, don't worry, it's all right. And likewise, I guess, has that helped you be able to do those small steps and not have to put yourself under so much pressure? I still have to pop to, you know, the usual supermarkets, and I work 6 days a week. I am a mother to a toddler. I need a certain amount of convenience product in my life, so you know, it's just about making the changes where you can, and not beating yourself up about the rest. This is good stuff. We're going to take a little bit of a break now, and then we'll be back talking about some of the other bigger picture work you're doing in Ashford after this little break. Welcome back. We are still here with Katie from Bazaar. And Katie, I think you've really hit on something, this idea of we put lots of pressure on ourselves in all areas, but particularly with the plastic waste issue, and people thinking it's all or nothing. But exactly as you're saying, it's got to be sustainable, and it's better to do something, even if it's only small, than do nothing at all. However, to play devil's advocate and kind of maybe see the other side of the argument, you know, we hear lots of stuff. The plastic issue is a huge problem, and there is also that sense of urgency, and we need to be doing more. You mentioned about some of the awareness stuff you're doing, and from our previous conversation, I know you're doing stuff in Ashford. What is it you're doing, and what is it, and how is it you're looking to achieve that?
So we are just in the sort of inception phases for Plastic Free Ashford, which is basically, it's a group of volunteers who've come together to get this plastic free status for the town, which is kind of granted by Surfers Against Sewage. They're a charity. So I don't know if you've seen in the press, but Whitstable recently got it, and Faversham have it too. I think there are about 13 towns in Kent that are going for the status. We want to be one of the next. So it's all about community activity, community action, really. So litter picks, we've kind of already got those going. So it's just kind of rebranding them as Plastic Free Ashford. Awareness events, workshops. We've done a little bit of that at Made in Ashford, which is where my shop is based. And also liaising with local businesses as well to convince them to make steps towards reducing their or eliminating their plastic free, their single-use plastic to become plastic free, and then they get this little plaque. We have to work with a certain number of businesses to achieve the status. So we've just had our second meeting just yesterday, and things are picking up. It's exciting.
So it sounds like the pursuit of the mark, of the accreditation, I guess, is the thing that drives the change. Or is there anything you get from the accreditation itself, or is it more about what it enables and what it inspires in people, in being able to come together?
Both, really. I think it's a really, it would be a really positive thing for the town. Even people that live there are quite down on Ashford. I think it's great. It is a great place to live. But yeah, it has this sort of stigma of, in the past it hasn't been, so people still think it's like that. I think, the plastic-free status will really help, particularly if it gets us seen in the same vein as towns like Whitstable.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely, we have to take action now. So this is what we're doing.
Yeah, and I imagine it must be quite nice for people to feel like they are actually doing something. I had an interview with Maggie from Leaf, and she was saying that, exactly like we're talking about for the media, we have all this pent up energy, like, I need to do something, I want to do something, but I don't quite know what to do. So I imagine people must get quite a lot out of that, feel like they're making a difference, but also, is there an element of community coming together, cohesion, people meeting people that they wouldn't otherwise? Yeah,
definitely. In the group we've got just, citizens of Ashford, really. Obviously myself, a couple of other business owners, otherwise just, concerned citizens.
Yeah.
We also have someone from the council, which is great because it, helps us.
Shows that they're supporting.
Get in with them and have their support from day one. But yeah, it is a group of people that wouldn't necessarily have otherwise met coming together to do something. You might not necessarily think I might look a bit mad if I just go and collect litter on my own, but if I do it as part of a litter pick, slightly less mad.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and what would your advice be really for anyone, be they in Ashford or elsewhere, that wants to do a bit more, but also is maybe had that paralysed by where do I start? What would your advice or tips be for someone to start making a difference?
Just start small and focus on one thing at a time. So if you love takeaway coffee, just get a reusable cup and start using that. You could focus on one area at a time, i.e. the bathroom, and swap, to a more ethical shampoo or to a shampoo bar. And then, safety razors, cream deodorants, all of those sorts of things, but you don't have to throw everything out and because that's counterproductive, because that's loads of stuff going in the bin. You might as well use up what you've got first, and then make the changes bit by bit.
And if there is people, you say about kind of like the shampoo bar, like that's not something I was kind of aware was an option. For people maybe who don't necessarily live in Ashford, so can't get to your shop or to the one in Hythe, you mentioned they live on the other side of the country, how can they find out what is available? Because if it's not on our shelves, sometimes we don't know it's an option. So is there anywhere online where people can find out what's available?
There are so many places. Obviously the national chain Lush has loads of plastic-free alternatives, including shampoo and shower products, but also there are smaller businesses doing it too. I stock the Funky Soap Shop products, and but there are several Facebook groups. If you just type in zero waste on Facebook, you find groups. There's a Journey to Zero Waste in the UK, and there's loads of people with loads of different ideas in there, even making their own toiletries and things.
So find those bloggers that we mentioned earlier, but don't take them too seriously. Take a little bit, one by one.
The Facebook side of it is the more accessible side, I think.
Okay, brilliant. Katie, it's been wonderful chatting. And if people want to find out more information, want to get down to your shop, how can they do that?
We are at Made in Ashford, which is in Park Mall, every Friday and Saturday from 10 till 5.
Brilliant. Okay, and if they want to find you online?
www.bazaar.co.uk.
Brilliant. Katie, thank you very much indeed. And thank you out there for tuning in to the Big Ideas Show. And if you are doing something great for your community or for the wider world, and you'd like to be in this hot seat right here, then please do get in touch. We are always looking for inspiring guests, or maybe it's someone you know and you think they should be in that hot seat. You can find us at the Big Ideas Show on all of the social media channels. And I just want to finish by saying a big thank you. The Big Ideas Show is put together by a number of people without whom it wouldn't be possible. So I'll start with the crew and our contributors. We have Hax from Prisma Broadcast, we have Erin from 6-2, and we have Warren from Flourish. And our wonderful crew behind the cameras, we have Gary, Maddie and Hannah. So a massive thank you to them. Massive thank you to you out there for listening. Thank you to Katie, and I'll see you next time.